Hello and welcome and Happy New Year. We have all of this year ahead of us to do many exciting things and to share many glorious and less so moments. And so I thank you for joining me on this day. Over the past little while, I have reviewed a number of inexpensive instruments that the TomTop website have sent to me. And generally, as far as their trumpets go, I've been quite impressed that you could get an instrument for, in some cases, less than $100 that actually functions as a usable musical instrument. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you something a little bit more expensive. It's listed at the moment on sale for $120 US, excluding of shipping. And this is the trumpet here. When this trumpet was sent to me, it did function out of the box, although what I've done to it is remove the valves, cleaned out the valve casing with a cloth, re-lubricate the valves, put it back in. I've also re-lubricated the tuning slides on it. That's all I've done to this instrument. Haven't given it a bath or anything like that. And we're left with something that I believe functions quite nicely. When it comes to looking at inexpensive instruments, I really only have two criteria that an instrument has to meet. Number one, does it function as an instrument? Can you use it for making music? And number two, could a learner develop with an instrument like this? In the case of this instrument, I believe that it passes both with a reasonable margin. Naturally, when you buy an inexpensive instrument, there are going to be some things that you sacrifice on. Build quality is one. There are scratches, there are imperfections and blemishes that you don't have to spend too long to find. But generally, it's a very nice, sexy looking instrument. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, of course, but I think it is quite a nice looking instrument. It's quite clear that on this model the manufacturers have taken some inspiration from Bach trumpets. We've got the hexagonal end to the mouthpiece receiver, which is something that you traditionally see on Bachs. You've also got this little third valve tuning slide stop that prevents the third valve tuning slide from extending too far. That's another thing you tend to see on Bachs. There are also a couple of things that aren't necessarily specific to Bachs. They've taken that hexagonal design here and applied it to the finger buttons and the top and bottom valve caps. Personally, I find that these are actually a little bit hard to grip. I much prefer the standard circular approach with the standard knurling on it, which is easier to loosen and tighten, but this looks reasonably effective. You've probably noticed that this instrument has three different colours of materials that's in use. We've got a rose brass lead pipe, which looks reasonably effective. We've got standard yellow brass in some of the accessories and also in the main valve cluster. And we've got what is either silver plated brass or nickel silver for the rest of the instrument. So it's just up to you really whether you think that this looks better than just a standard yellow brass trumpet like this one. The question is going to arise, does it make any difference to have a rose brass lead pipe as opposed to a yellow brass lead pipe and silver as opposed to brass in other places of the instrument? And in this case, I don't think it's going to make any difference. Inexpensive trumpets are going to have an amount of variance on each instrument. You get two instruments that are supposed to be identical, they're going to have some subtle differences between the two. And those differences are going to matter so much more than the difference between having a yellow brass versus a rose brass lead pipe. This instrument is currently on sale for $120 of your US, excluding shipping. I don't know how long that sale lasts or whether that's just their permanent price, but they've marketed it as a sale or whatever. But at that price, I certainly think it's a reasonably good instrument. So head on to the website down in the description below if you're interested in having a look. Thank you very much for watching.